Alright, hello everybody that is watching. This, coming out of nowhere saying I hasn't uploaded in like a billion years. But, the talkhaus contest, Make a Good Level X3, has been released, like, last month-ish or something, and I partook in it. So basically, what I want to do today is, like, kind of a developer commentary thing on my level. Now, disclaimer, I made this level like 4 years ago, back when the contest started, so some details are a bit foggy, but otherwise, I remember mainly everything with my level. So I'll play through it, give my commentary on it, and then I have the judges' comments from the official contest, and I will go through those and, like, go through their comments and relate it to the level. So, let's just restart and I'll go from there. So, within this contest itself, I made it 60th out of, I think, like, 152 entries or something like that, which I think is really good. I'm, like, really, really happy with that, honestly. I 100% am. That was within my goal. I wanted to make it to the top 50%, and I did, because in Make a Good Level X2, I think I was, like, 160th or something, but that one had, like, 300 entries almost. So, like, I made it to the second half of the game, but I don't think it was the second half of the contest, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But anyways, so, yeah, just to talk, get a bit of background on the level here. The whole theme that of this contest is that you were given, like, NPCs, like, level themes, like, bonus content, or, like, bonus terms to go through, and you just had to pick those and make a level around it. So mine was, like, Heavenly and Saloon. My NPC was Boo. So I went with those, and I made a haunted Heavenly Tavern. So, that's pretty funky. So yeah. So just going through here, I put, because it's heaven, I made ghosts. They're like angels. Oh, hey, welcome to heaven, the place where all the good old dead people go. Oh, you must have been a pretty good Peppino to get up here. Get it? Because, like, he's Italian. On the 8th day, God said, let there be booze, and it was so. Now there's a saloon in heaven. Whoa, I set up plot. So there's plot in this level. And there it is. Hey, I remember you. You were the one that hit my dad with the blue blocks like 3 times. So that's a reference to Mario World and the only time where you fight Big Boo. Now, here's the saloon itself. And I put a bunch of guys outside because, like, they're waiting to go in the saloon or something. And you get inside. And it's like, whoa, it's a tavern. Hey, another spirit with a body! Come drink your spirits away with us while we wait for our turn with God. Man, the 80s hit pretty differently, man. Yeah, we get it. You were born in the wrong generation, Carl. So he's just like, hey, whoa. You're an alive dude in heaven. Hey, whoa. The 80s were cool. Yeah. There's not really much to them. I just thought it was funny, which, looking back, it probably isn't, but that's just because I'm not, whatever. Hello, I am your boo tender for tonight. What can I get you, sire? Ah, yes, what is this drown your spirit drink? Oh, that. We just take all the drinks we have and mix them together. It gets spirits and angels super hammered. Oh, I'll take one of those, please. Ah, okay. One problem. All the drinks are in the pantry upstairs. If you can get them, I'll make it for you. Here, I'll open the door. So, the first gripe I have with this level, I didn't label who was speaking. Hopefully the message gets across pretty, like, nicely, but yeah, I would have labeled who was speaking in this level had I made it today. Black Yoshi, I still don't forgive you. Just kind of the joke of, like, you suicide Yoshis. Hey, I'm Johnny Koopa, not related to the other famous Red Koopa, of course. Well, what's a Jimmy Koopa? Now, those two guys are referencing the level that I made back in Make a Good Level X2, where I had a, reporter Koopa in it, who, like, told you the solution to a very convoluted puzzle that I don't know why I included it, and, it made it into the title of the YouTuber freaking Raukau who plays this game. It made it into the title video, and 7th grade me, because I was in 7th grade when that, contest came out, I was like, whoa! I'm the video title! Dude, that's so cool! So, I kinda rolled with it, so, yeah. Shh! I'm undercover for some guy named Lucy's Fur, or Dayville, or some crappy codename like that. Get it? Because he is talking like, He's, cause devil. Sorry, I was just checking the recording for a second. Get it? Cause they're like, it's like saying devil, but bad. Have you ever been to the underwear? Super Paper Mario reference. Pretty great. That's what happens with booze. This will be very prominent later, but yeah, not a good design decision. So, you know, you go into the back room. Oh, booze to the right. Oh, cool. Oh. Oh, no. And now starts the actual level. Careful, what may have seemed friendly before might not be. That's kind of to signify that A, these ghosts are evil. B, chandeliers hurt now. And C, lamps also hurt. But don't touch the lamps. So yeah. So the hardest part about like this whole process was finding tile sets and stuff to use for this level. Could this saloon truly be made by God if it's filled with tormented spirits? Oh, pranked! So, the whole thing behind that is I meant like the story behind this level, because like there's like the in-game story, is that like this saloon wasn't made by God himself. This is like a trick of the devil that somehow made it up into heaven. So the statues that talk like that and kind of prank you like that are kind of just to be like, hey, God would never do this. I am the devil. Moo-hoo ha ha ha. And here is all of the booze itself, but obviously you can't get back up. So now with all the booze here, you've gotta, you know, you gotta find a way out to give it to him so you can make you a drink. Why would God make a saloon in the first place? Alcoholism's a sin! Kind of true, kind of not. It's you know, alcoholism is like, in moderation, it's good. Poo. Anyways, but yeah, so finding a tile set was difficult for this, especially with this new level editor, because this is like the first level I made with the new editor. The stairs to heaven are most like an elevator. Get it? Because Stairway to Heaven, it's a joke. Yeah, so this was the first level I ended up making in this new engine, including, like, not just MAGLx 2.0, but, like, the level engine editor as a whole. So, like, I would definitely attribute this to me just not knowing how to use the editor very well. Because, yeah, I would go back and definitely, like, remake this whole level, given the opportunity. Because there's so many things I want to expand on, like the story behind it, like I feel like is poorly explained, especially at the ending, where, spoiler alert, you meet God himself, and he's like, hey, I'm God. What do you mean there's a freaking tavern in heaven? I would never do that. So yeah, so I would go back, expand on that a bit more, like expand upon everything, honestly. And yeah, so I'm going to go over some of the judges' criticism that I remember off the top of my head, and then I'll go over the rest of it at the end of the video. But first of all, cramped level design. Yeah! I think it's especially prominent in the second half of this really, like, poor level design. Which, yeah, you'll definitely see it. And at the time, I didn't really think of that. I'm just like, well, if this is like a ghost house, right? Ghost houses, like, interiors are kind of, you know, they're not exactly, like, open-ended, you know? It's a house. Houses can be cramped, so that's why I made it, like, such hallway-like level design. And, like, just, yeah. Like, yeah, if I were to go back and remake that first section, I think what I'd do mostly is make it more obvious about the chandeliers and lamps that hurt you. Because the chandeliers, the only difference between those and decoration ones are the fact that the hurtful ones don't have fire. Same thing goes for the lamps. The only difference is that these red lamps are yellow, and that's very difficult to spot when you're just playing through the level. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, so, like, you can't tell until you get close, but they don't have fire, unlike the other kind. And the second half of the level here, you'll definitely see that cramped level design more, but this is also where I was like, hey, what if I put a secondary exit in there? Because, you know, most ghost houses have some sort of secondary exit, so I'm like, hey, I'll do that too. I think that can be cool. And were I to remake this, I think I'd keep the secondary exit. But, like, I think I'd keep the method as well, because the way that you get the secondary exit is, my statue letters 3, hold the key till you're free. Food. So basically, you just talk to 3 statues that are hidden throughout the level, and it opens up the secret exit. So I would do that again, but just make accessing them better. Because this is the main problem. Manipulating enemies in a game where enemies do not function at all like their in-game counterparts. Does that make sense? No, not really. But as you can see, like, you have to manipulate boos in order to get the exits. Like, yeah. Were I to go back and remake this, I would 100% change that around to be, like, maybe you get them out of order or something, maybe you have to backtrack, but every time you go back it's different. Because I kind of experimented with that with one of the statues here, where you go, or like, you have to get the last one first, and then come back. Free food can feed multiple people. That's statue number 1. Just manipulate the boos into a staircase. This one, I think is pretty clever, honestly. I think I'd remake it, though, where you don't have to put them in place yourself, and they're already there, but maybe you just have to, like, you just have to spin jump on them or manipulate their angles, I guess, their trajectory, I don't know, their height. There you go. I can't talk. But yeah, so it's like, hey, look, there's a ghost up there, but you can't really get to him. How do you do that, eh? And then it's like there's a hint where it's like, hey, this is blocked off, and there's a big hole here, so you maybe have to get on top of that hole somehow. I don't know. So yeah, but like, it's supposed to be like mystery, it's intrigue. It's like, whoa, hey, whoa, how do you get there? So you just keep on playing through, you know? Keep on playing through. And then you make it to this part. Now, this is, I'm still kind of proud of this because I think it's a pretty clever little thing, because the coins are like, there's a little bump, there's indication of coins that are like, hey, this might be a pipe of some kind, or because there's no way to get in there normally. Free food will remind you of a certain superhero. And then some coins appear telling you like, hey, maybe there's something back there. Also, the moon says boo, which is funny because it's a 3-up moon, so you'd think you get 3 lives, but no, you get pranked. Yeah, but now, so those coins are supposed to be an indicator of like, hey, go back. There might be something. And again, were I to remake this level, I think I'd make it more obvious that you should go back. Maybe just turn them into an arrow or something. Yeah, so you go back, and this right here is the worst part of the level. Because you can't get through there without having to manipulate these boos. Go off screen. And then come back, and it's like, whoa, they're in a perfect staircase. I do not like this. I would have just made this. Also, it's hard to get up too. Like, getting from here to that second boot is hard, man. Like, were I to remake this, that would be a normal staircase. But then it's like, the free food contains many allergy-provoking things on it. Whoa. And then, oh no, the way is clogged off. So you have to go down here now, which is like more difficult platforming, technically, because there's pits. And again, I like this concept. I like the concept of, like, as you get closer to the secret exit, the pathways change more. Like, I think that's really neat. It makes backtracking less, you know, terrible. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ah! Yeah. Cramped level design is showing its way more now. Yeah, so then you make it, you know, you keep on going, and it's like, hey, you talk to the statues 3, so now you can, you know, get the secret exit. Ah! It's fine, we're here. So you go down here. I still think this is pretty funny today, honestly. I like this. And then you talk to the boos. We got flesh instead of the bread we were promised. Oh, we got grape juice instead of the wine we were promised. Which is like, like, the joke is that, you know, oh, hey, that's what Jesus gave the freaking apostles during the Last Supper. But it doesn't really work, because flesh, so I should have said we got blood instead of the wine we were promised. The joke is screwed up. I messed up the joke. I don't know what they're talking about. I came here for pizza. And they talk to this guy, and he's like, so, the free food was supposed to be pizza, but we kind of don't have any. Just take the star anyways. It's kind of useless. Again, I'd change up that dialogue specifically, but I like the whole thing where it's like, there's supposed to be food, but there just isn't any. And then you get here. I'm so drunk. So the whole gimmick here is supposed to be like, as you run, you're throwing up all the spirits you drank. Get it? It's a pun. And then you get here, and it's like, oh, shoot! There's a bullet bill. But it's a prank bullet bill. Woo! Yeah, it's a prank bullet bill. But as you run away and, like, turn around, the ghosts will despawn like they did there. I actually got worried for a second because, like, oh no, what if I can't get out? But yeah. Definitely, like, I think I'd keep that in, but maybe just remove the bullet bill or have some other kind of thing at the end to be like, haha, demon pranks. Nice. Boo. 3-up moon pranked yet again. Get wrecked. Huh, we see you drank everything, huh? That's impressive. But yeah. And then you exit, and you're back outside. And then there's some other ghosts. You can't really talk to them. I didn't make it where you could talk to them. Nothing on the roof. And then you get here! Hello, my child. Yes, it is I, God. Why hast thou visited me? Saloon? In heaven? Why, I would never make such a thing. You say you were inside. It must have been an illusion, my child. For coming all this way, I can reward you. Head to the statue over there for a small little prize from me. Now, some removed content, actually. There was supposed to be a delay, and then afterwards, a text box would appear that would just be like, stupid. Stupid devil. Excuse me. But then you come back to the statue. The saloon never existed. So, again, that's what I mean by, like, I would go back and change that, because, like, God's text makes it seem as if he just made the saloon disappear, but the whole implication was that, like, the saloon never existed? Which, I wish I had gotten that across better. I really wish I do. But, you know, my writing skills were not that good 4 years ago. So, with that done, with the whole, like, kind of level there, I just want to go through the judge comments and kind of, like, go through my thoughts on them, explain some things. So, Sturg first says that he likes the story, which, I mean, like, I like the story too, I just wish I expanded upon it further, and the difficulty felt a bit rude, though. Now, that is the most common thing with all of these, is that the difficulty is just plain mean. And you know what? I agree with them. It wasn't mean to me because of the fact that I made the level and I know where all the traps are, but that's what I mean by, like, making the chandeliers and the lamps more obvious, is the fact that just, like, hey, you can't tell what's what. So, like, that's totally fair, too. Another thing that was, like, commonplace to all 3 judges was the fact that there were lack of power-ups. I agree. At the time, I thought that the amount of power-ups I put in was fair. Like, hey, it's like, oh, 2 mushrooms per section. No, I'd go back and put in a couple more. If I were to keep the level design the same, I'd put in a couple more. If I were to remake it, I would make the level design complement power-ups easier. Like, I'd maybe give you, like, a leaf instead, because I only give you mushrooms, which is, like, that's really lame. And amongst all 3 of them as well, the least favorite section, or, like, at least for Sturg, was the middle section. And again, like, I would personally, if I were to remake the level, I'd still keep in the elevator section, because I think it's funny that it's like, haha, the stairs to heaven, it's an elevator. Ha, that's funny. But I would totally change the design of it, make it shorter, first of all, because it is quite a long section. Put a checkpoint at the start of the section as well, because if you die, you have to go through that whole first section again, without a mushroom, too, until, like, halfway through it, which is, like, yeah, I definitely go back and change that. But yeah, make it shorter. Make the obstacles less mean towards the player, because the combination of booze and janky tracks is, like, yeah, it's pretty stupid. Yeah. There's no let for falling off. Like, yeah, you have to do a lot if you screw up. And then, yeah, for the second star, he brings up the fact that, like, it was just confusing. Yeah, I'd keep the concept of, like, you know, going to statues, but I would 100% change the way you do it and make it less stupid to get to. And, yeah, the trap ending with the boo, or the bonsai bill, whoops. Like, going back and playing through it as someone who, like, forgot the mechanics of spawning power-ups like that, like, yeah, I'd go back and change it. Maybe so it isn't just a bonsai build. Maybe you just run, and there's just a bunch of boos, and it's like, you're throwing up ghosts. Because, you know, there was supposed to be a joke in there. But, like, it's a very stupid joke. Yeah, the joke would have been great if the ending music played and then you went on your merry way, but I was pretty irritated that the level booted me back to the beginning just because I didn't want to miss any dialogue. I agree there. From Zatsupachi, good aesthetics, surprise enemies, difficult to tell which ones are hostile because they're spitefully placed. I agree there. I personally don't agree on the spitefully placed part for all of them. There are definitely some of them, like the lamp at the end of the second section, where it's like, why did I do that? I would just remove that altogether. But it's like, yeah, I would definitely, yeah, make the enemies more obvious. The vertical segment is nasty, and the checkpoint to return to is a bit of a journey if you get another attempt at the vertical segment. Yeah, agree there. The second part was filled with some nasty, cramped spaces with enemies that could easily clog up. Yeah, I think the problem is that I spammed booze, first of all, which is not a good idea. I should not have spammed them so much because, you know, despite the fact it's a ghost house, not very good. Yeah, boos are not cooperative. I agree there. I totally agree there. And then from Rameau, starts off strong but loses the plot once it shifts to actual platforming. Like, I personally, I feel like the plot kind of stays there, but, like, it's not explained. So that's kind of just me being like, hey, I made the level. I know the plot. But not everyone knows the plot. So, like, yeah, no, I totally agree. I should have kept the plot in there more so. Like, included more of those little statue trap thingies where it's like, hey, maybe this saloon wasn't made by God. The solidity of objects is unclear. Those thin floor platforms on pillars look like they ought to be passed through, and the levels seem to design as if they were passed through. That is something that I never actually considered while playing it. I always thought that it would have been obvious that they were solid blocks, but no. Going back and like looking through it after that comment in my head, I see where they're coming from, and like, yeah, I would have either made it obvious that those are not, like, those aren't one-way platforms, or I would like definitely go back and like change that. The line guide section would be fine if it weren't so bumpy, which makes navigating obstacles awkward. Yeah, agree there. Third section is largely ambush-based, and the secret star seems to be built on the assumption that this is Mario World, where riding the Boo elevator to reach new heights is easy. Yeah, that's just me not realizing that Smebek's mechanics are janky as hell. Like, if you look at the Boo on the right, like, yeah, janky. I would definitely change that up to be platforms or something. Atrociously stingy with power-ups. Yeah. Length and difficulty. See, like, I thought the length was fine. I personally didn't think it was that long, but apparently it is, like, quite long according to the stats given within the actual game itself, because each level has, like, a little ranking under it about, like, how difficult or time-consuming it is. And they blew me out of the water. Both of them did. So I'm like, wow, okay, clearly, like, you know, I'm in the wrong here. Yeah, and like, yeah, I'd give more power-ups. The ending also feels weird and phoned in after an intriguing setup. Yeah, like, again, I just wish I explained the story more. That's really it. It's so unobvious, but there's a story, there's an attempt of a story in there. And then, yeah, and then his plus and minus points were plus for good setup, minus for cramped and unforgiving, minus for stingy and power-ups. Yeah, I agree with basically everything they say. Were I to go back and change this level, like, would I change this level? 100%. I would change this level up. There are some elements I'd keep of it, though. Like, this part, the saloon beginning part, I really like those, actually. Like, I like this part. I don't know. I think it's funny. But yeah, the ending, I'd explain it better. Change up that, like, little, like, bonsai build trap at the end there to be something else. Like, just something else in general. Not sure what, but I'd change it. And yeah. So that is my attempt at dev commentary for this level. Raocow, if you see this after playing the level, I'm sorry if I made you mad. Because he's, at the time of recording this, he's only on tier 6. This is level's the beginning of tier 8. So yeah, if you see this, Rao, I'm sorry I made you mad. If I made you mad, I just wanted to make a cool level. Yeah. But with that in mind, thank you for everybody that freaking watched this. If you came from Talkhouse or whatever, hi. I have not been active. I'm sorry. And for those of you that are just seeing this on the YouTube space, hello. I like Mario. That's pretty neat. But with that, thank you for watching, everybody. I will hopefully see y'all around. Bye-bye.